Hey boys and girls, interested in learning about complex fractions and unit rates? Well, if not, I'm sorry, you're just going to have to. But anyway, complex fractions and unit rates are really not that difficult. If you just think about it, ask you to write this down here where I have this, a complex fraction is a fraction where the numerator, the denominator, or both contain a fraction. Okay, so a complex fraction is a fraction where the numerator, denominator, or both contain a fraction. Let's take a look at some examples here. We have Dana, who is skating laps to train for a speed skating competition. And she can skate one lap in 40 seconds. Write a ratio in simplest form comparing Dana's time to her number of laps. Well, we're looking at here, so she can skate one lap in 40 seconds. So we're going to write a ratio in simplest form that compares her time to the number of laps. And so that will simply be 40 over 1. Now, suppose Dana skates for 20 seconds. How many laps will she skate? Well, if she skates for 20 seconds, that's like half the time. Well, then obviously she would be skating 1/2 of a lap. Now, we're asked to write a ratio of Dana's time from here in exercise 2 to her number of laps, which is the 1/2 a lap. So what we would do here is we would take her time, which would be 20 seconds, and we're going to put it over 1/2. So here we have a whole number over a fraction. So here the fraction is in the denominator. And then how could we simplify this? Well, we would just simply divide. So I'll just write divide here. And basically we're going to take 20 and we're going to divide it 20 over 1, and we're going to divide it by 1/2. Because that's exactly what this is saying. 20 divided by 1/2. And if you remember, as far as how we divide, we actually multiply by the reciprocal. So here we're going to have 20 over 1 times 2 over 1. And then that will get us 40 over 1, or 40 seconds. Okay, we're going to continue on. Let's take a look at some more examples here. Okay, we're asked to simplify 1/4 divided by 2. Okay, we're taking 1/4 and dividing it by 2. So simply saying 1/4 divided by 2. And what we do is we take 1/4 and we multiply by the reciprocal, which is 1/2, and then that will equal 1/8. So 1/4 divided by 2. Again, 1/4 divided by 2 over 1. We multiply by the reciprocal and we will get 1/8. Let's take a look at this example here. 1 divided by 1/2. 1 divided by 1/2. Well, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal over 2 over 1, and we'll just make this 1 over 1, and then that would equal 2 over 1, or 2. Okay, let's try another example. Oops. Let's go back. Okay, Joshua can jog 1 1/3 miles in a quarter hour. Find his average speed in miles per hour. Well, this really is not that difficult. All we're doing is we're taking Josh's jogging miles, which is 1 1/3, and we're going to have that in the numerator, and the denominator is 1/4. So we're going to divide 1 1/3 by 1/4. Again, we're dividing 1 1/3 divided by 1/4. Let's take a look at this here. What we need to do, if you recall, we have to turn this into an improper fraction, so that will be 4/3 divided by 1/4. We multiply 4/3 by the reciprocal times 4/1, and now we will get 16/3, because 4 times 4 is 16, 3 times 1 is 3, and then that would be simplified. 3 goes into 16, 5 and 1/3 miles per hour. Let's take a look about that. Let's do the long division. 3 goes into 16, 5 times, that's 15. 1 is the remainder, so we would have 1/3. Good old Tia, she's painting her house. She paints 34 1/2 square feet in 3/4 of an hour. At this rate, how many square feet can she paint in an hour? Well, let's take a look. We have 34 and 1/2, and that's going to be divided by 3/4 of an hour. So we're going to take 34 1/2, and we're going to divide it by 3/4. Next, we have to turn this into an improper fraction, so we have 69/2 divided by 3/4. We take 69/2 and we're going to multiply by the reciprocal of 3/4, which is 4/3. And here our answer would be 276/6, and then that would be simplified to 46 square feet per hour. So again, 34 1/2 divided by 3/4. Turn it into an improper fraction. Next, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal, and then we simplify. Let's take a look at the last examples here. Here we have Mr. Ito is spreading mulch in his yard. He spreads 4 2/3 square yards in 2 hours. How many square yards can he mulch per hour? Well, let's take a look. We're taking this 4 2/3. That's the numerator. And that's going to be over 2 hours. So technically what we're doing is we're taking 4 2/3 and we're dividing it by 2. Remember, we have to turn this into an improper fraction, so that will be 14/3 divided by 2. We have to multiply by the reciprocal now. Let me, I'll continue over here. So we're taking 14/3 and we're timesing it by 1/2. Remember, we're multiplying by the reciprocal because actually this is 2/1. And then we'll get 14/6, and that would be simplified to 2 1/3 square yards per hour. Okay. Last, good old Aubrey can walk 4 1/2 miles in 1 1/2 hours. Find her average speed in miles per hour. Simply, it is 4 1/2 over 1 1/2 hours. We take 4 1/2. We're dividing it by 1 1/2. We end up figuring out the improper fraction. So this would be 9/2 divided by 3/2. We multiply by the reciprocal. Now we have, whoop, here we go. It's getting crazy here. Sorry about this. Let's see if I can do some erasing. Maybe not. doesn't look like it wants to erase as much as I'd like. Okay, let's try it again. So we have 9/2 times 2/3, multiplying by the reciprocal here. This becomes 18/6, and then that will simplify to 3 miles per hour. Okay, you have all the information you need in order to work on the practice for today. Okay, thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.